going on, y'all? I want to check out this video from Rev. If I'm not mistaken, it's about Pokimane and her calling out male gamers or something like that. She was saying something stupid. Starting to think that she does it on purpose. Let's check this out. Don't forget to hit that hype button. Also, subscribe and drop some comments. And check out my live streams. That's where I said live streams. Check out the tab. After this, watch the video first. Don't just go to. Dang. I appreciate the support though. All right, let's check this out.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So I'm sure you're a lot like me. Whenever you come across a topic on the internet, the first thought in your mind is, what does Pokimane have to say about this? And it's no different when it comes to gaming. Pokimane is a fountain of knowledge when it comes to gaming, and recently she's had a clip go viral where she's talking about the experience of female gamers, where she yearns, she pines for the good old days where female gamers had it so much better. And by better, I mean the times where people used to simp for people like Pokimane a lot harder than they are.
That still happens. Maybe not to the extent. I do remember, what was that damn female streamer that used to do the hot tub streams. They should have been called hot tub streams, and she was on YouTube too. I think she retired and became like a Christian. I don't know where that came from, but I remember this was like a big thing years ago, and there's a lot of female streamers that was in the same type of bag where people was like treating them like they were super special or talented, and they didn't do nothing. So I don't know if she's talking about that time, but it's a possibility.
Currently. Now, of course, the gaming industry would totally never have anything negative to say.
Was it Amarif? Yes, I said Amarif. I don't know if that's the girl I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of a type of name in my head, but I don't want to be wrong, so I haven't said it. I don't think it's Amarif, but she definitely was up there. She was around that time. There was another girl. I remember she started getting mad attention. Streamer. Let me see. I'm gonna find her. Yeah, it wasn't Amarif, but Amarif might be from the same era. Is it? I feel like her last name was Burger. I feel like her last name was Burger or something. Is that it? Is that the girl I'm thinking of? Yup. Zoe Burger. I was right. I just wasn't sure because of the spelling. I remember when she was popping off live streaming and she was getting nasty. Blatantly, like, lingerie on. Hey, if I get a subscription, I'll turn around and twerk right now on stream. And her numbers was going crazy. Because people genuinely she was sitting there playing a game, sucking because she was trash. But she's sitting there playing a game in like a bathing suit or some lingerie. She's like, every time I get a donation, I'm going to make that thing pop. And they was making it rain in her damn chat. I'll never forget that. But I never really watched her, right? I would see like clips going viral.
Say about men. Of course, that's ignoring the last 10 to 15 years of agenda pushing, where even the UN heard about how evil men are thanks to individuals like Anita Sarkeesian. You also ignore the fact that game developers, community man.
I think so, Stu. She had like a whole stream house when she went and got other girls and was trying to make them do the same thing. But then she turned Christian and like was like, oh, this is wrong. After she made all that money.
Managers and alike have been routinely speaking about how much they hate not only gamers, but particularly male gamers and even a step further, white male gamers. This also ignores the...
It ain't just females. Remember I told you about that live streamer that was trying to like get close and act like he was cool with me? And I went to their stream and they were twerking for dollars. Like every time you donated $1, they would get... This was a grown man. A grown man that claimed to be like some military dude that knew martial arts. And he was so desperate that every time he got a donation, this grown ass man would get up and pop it like he was Meg Thee Stallion. It was insane. He had people trying to do it to me. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. Thank you for the donation. I'm not making it pop.
Endless discourse on social media where people are blaming men for all of the problems in the gaming industry and related communities. And this sort of discussion goes on and on. It often blows up in the face of the people trying it, And that's exactly what we're dealing with today, involving Pokimane, who has come out and said how much things have changed for women in the last 10 to 15 years when it comes to gaming. And let's just hear the intro to this clip.
Earlier today,
Someone said men aren't the problem, but women who don't like games. Hold on. Women that don't actually like games but like the image are the problem, as well as the men that support it. I like anime and comic books. If there's a female streamer pretending to like anime and comic books, I'm well aware that she's lying. I will not support her. What the hell am I? Because if I actually come for that type of content, get your ass up and read this manga. Like, I don't want to see you pop it. I didn't come here for that. Can you talk about the anime you was going to talk about? So there's men that like are super simps who are feeding these people. If they didn't do that, it would be impossible. If men weren't simping and just throwing everything at them because they say that they like the same thing that they like and pretend to be their online girlfriends, this wouldn't be as big of a thing. In fact, I think men waking up from it is why that type of behavior went down.
The intro to this clip.
earlier today, I did this random little TikTok where I was talking about how, hear me out. Do you guys remember like 10, 15 years ago? I feel like 10, 15 years ago, if you were a girl gaming online, people were actually so nice to you. Like, so nice. They treated you so well. They would like gift you free stuff, all this stuff. Do you guys remember? But nowadays, I feel like girls are a little bit scared to game online or to use their mic or whatever. Mac, thank you for subbing. I just like, sometimes I think about these days and I'm like, I'm not hallucinating that, right?
I think a lot of people are absolutely exhausted hearing anything about gaming from Pokimane, the individual who just a few months ago made this rage bait tweet that she swiftly deleted, where she said, "I miss when streaming was about gaming, not just drama baiting and clip farming," which is literally her bread and butter. She does nothing but drama and rage bait and try to farm clips. Her entire ecosystem is sitting in front of a camera pretending to be some gamer girl, where in reality, she doesn't actually play any games, while she sits there, talks a little bit to her chat, reacts to videos lazily, and then waits for her tier 3 simps to try to clip her.
Yeah, she talking about some, they scared to be on mic. That is BS, bro. They want to be on mic. Up to the girls, like within that niche that are pretending to be into these things. She lying. They come on mic quick as hell. In fact, they start bullying men off of the game in order to like shut them down and them to get more clout. Remember the Marvel rival situation where that dude Kingsman was just trying to play the game and this group of girls all started going after him and saying that he was toxic and got him kicked from the tournament, when meanwhile they were the ones that was being extremely toxic to him. Yeah, so Pokimane sounds crazy.
Or as she tries to walk out of the room or something for their own creepy simp purposes, stuff like that. I mean, the IRL section on Twitch was literally created because of people like Pokimane, because they were abusing the sort of tag of being a gamer or playing a certain game so much, they had to do something about it as a platform. Now, in that,
they were foul to him, and I related to that story so much because I've been in like work environments where a group of women are in higher power and did the same thing to me. Violated. I'll go even further, but not in this video. I think I told y'all about that story where I got harassed and a lawyer even told me nobody would believe me because I was a man. And then they ended up firing me because I reported it.
Clip we just watched, she talks about the good old days. She is literally pining for the old era, 10 to 15 years ago, where being a girl and gaming online, people were so much nicer to you. She is yearning for the days where she could amass simps easier. That's literally what she's saying here. It was just easier back then. People gave her free stuff because she was a woman in the space, and that's what worked for her. Now, that's kind of dried up. That sort of gimmick doesn't really work anymore, and I guess she is yearning for the good old days. And it's pointed out here that, yeah, because 15 years ago, not every woman was making "I have a stalker" TikTok afterwards because someone left comments on their socials. Men learn from it, and now you are all getting manhandled like the rest. It's called equality. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's called equality. Nobody's throwing their money at Pokimane. They're throwing it at goofy lads like me, because it's really that simple. Just go out there and provide people the content they want. Don't sit there and be a massive hypocrite, constantly whining about it or saying, oh, the good old days, I used to get more out of people. Like, it's totally ridiculous to hear this from her. She just wants a return to a better time where she sat there and got absolutely showered in donations 24/7. But now she's resorted to even more rage baiting and trying to be this very stunning and brave individual with her political related tweets that absolutely drive people insane due to her lack of self-awareness or just knowledge about really anything. And on top of that, people are pointing out that why would Pokimane need free stuff? If you're a broke girl, just say so. And that, of course, is a calling to an old quote of hers where, confronted by viewers who didn't want to pay $28 a pack for her,
she was like, if you're a broke boy, then just say so. You don't got $30 to spend on my cookies. If you broke, just say so. Mind you, this is the customers complaining to the CEO. And that was her response. Insane. Insane. I don't know why anyone would fall for that and buy them cookies in the first place. Clearly, it was just some other brand of cookies where her name slapped across the front to try to get people to buy it. They probably was going out of business. It was like, listen, we got all this merchandise. What can we do? Get a live streamer to slap their names on it and try to sell it overpriced. Yeah, that's how we get our bang for our buck.
Cookie brand. She said, if you're a broke boy, just say so. And this is the one who is trying to lecture you about how women are being treated in the gaming space when, of course, you're just a broke boy if you don't want to support her overpriced cookie brand, which, of course, has been falling apart over the past couple of months. But nevertheless, this whole claim about 10 to 15 years ago, and just now, as she said in the clip, she's noticing something is wrong here with the treatment of girls in gaming. She's been doing this every year for like a decade, okay? Here's a tweet from 2021 where she says, the hate that women receive within gaming has become so normalized, but we need to make it clear to our communities and platforms that
charcoal cookies. That's what it looked like too. Charcoal cookies. Them joints look nasty. I never had it though. I wouldn't even want to try it. It didn't look like it tasted good. I don't want nothing to do with Pokimane cookies. I'm good.
It's absolutely not okay. Now you have to understand the context here. She was getting
Cat Denon cookies. Not my bad. My bad. I'm gonna reel it in.
dragged by people on social media for once again stirring the pot, basically getting what she's asking for in terms of attention. And she makes this not about women, but instead about her getting criticized. And now she's trying to come out and say, hey, we need to stand up to this sort of behavior. It's very self-serving. And she's using this entire movement and message to really just protect herself, which that really shouldn't surprise you. Now, a lot of people hearing that good old era she's talking about from 10 to 15 years ago, and they think to themselves, like, how would Pokimane survive a good old-fashioned 2012 COD lobby? Ladies and gentlemen, I think she would have been just fine. If you look at the old clips of Pokimane, this one in particular, like I can literally hear this gif, ladies and gentlemen.
When she was getting off her N-word pass, she was wilding with that. Was that the clip? I kept seeing that pass my timeline the other day. I was laughing.
I think she would have fit in just fine in that environment. But hearing all of this from Pokimane is very ironic. She's trying to virtue signal about women in the gaming space. Meanwhile, we know full well she could not define what a woman is if you asked her, because her answer entirely hinges upon what the socially acceptable answer is currently in the LA streaming scene. She is a slave to that scene and a slave to whatever makes her the most money. And that's exactly what dictates her morals. And in this case, it's just ironic hearing her talk about women. But let's move on to the next part of the clip where she talks about misogyny.
But that's the thing.
Hold on. You said, I want to read this. Even when she ate her cookies, it looked like her cookies were gross. Because they probably were. They probably was nasty as ever.
Talks about misogyny.
But that's the thing. It makes me sad for maybe like younger women who just got into gaming and they think that this is just how it's been all the time. But that's not so much the case, I don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's always been some issues in relation to misogyny, but at one point it didn't feel so bad.
Now, it's very interesting hearing Pokimane talking about how she feels so sad for younger women because she believes that they're in this hostile.
How many younger female streamers has Pokimane actually helped? And don't say she don't got the power to. She's a millionaire with clout like crazy. The same way she's saying stupid things, she could be like, hey, everyone, go check out so-and-so. But oh, I feel so bad. I feel horrible about the growth of woman. Like, get out of here.
Environment that wasn't always this way, but it also always had issues with misogyny, and it's somehow gotten worse. She can't really articulate exactly how it's gotten worse, but I think all of this comes from a position of insecurity about this whole gamer girl type labels she's always battled with. I mean, back in 2020, she had a whole meltdown because people were making fun of her as a gamer girl. Like, she tried to identify as that, and people are like, you don't even actually play anything. And then in response to that, she says, nobody watches you at all. When someone said nobody watches you for your personality or gameplay, I think this screenshot from 2020 really captures the sort of attitude and sensitivity Pokimane has towards anyone trying to call her out for actual content she provides. And it's even more ironic when she argues about misogyny. It's like, what is misogyny to this individual? Because pretty much everything is, right? You post this rabbit clock meme, in her replies, you're getting a swift block, and she believes that you're a misogynist for pointing this out. And that's some of the quotes on the most recent stuff, saying she doesn't understand. She's expired goods. She's almost 30. Almost 30. It's all over, ladies and gentlemen. But again, this is the type of person who, even when asked by her friends if she's getting married, she views that as sexist.
Guys, I've got big news.
What?
Big
married?
Oh, listen, you need to... That's very sexist of you.
No,
that's such a bigoted question.
No. I would be like, Scar said, I got big news. I'd be like, you got married? You know, you got an anime girlfriend?
The way you hesitated 3 times tells me that is not the first question you would ask.
My mom asked that too.
Exactly. Let's not repeat these cycles of abuse.
It ain't that big of a deal. What the hell? My mom asked me on a regular basis when I might have a kid. And she hit me with all types of sob stories. Like, I just want to see, have me have a grandchild before I go. I'm like, Ma, you healthy as hell. Cut that out. I'm not rushing to have no kid. She's like, you know how it feels when my sister, she got a bunch of grandkids. I'm like, so what? Like, that's not a big thing. You can't rush me into having some damn kids. But I never was like, this is such a sexist question. How dare you ask me? No, I explained that, hey, I would like my life to be together way more before I could bring another life into this world, bringing up my cousins. They ain't the best example. And like, I learned from their mistakes. Not saying the kids were mistakes, but the mistakes that they made throughout their life is what I'm saying.
Some people out there will think that this is ironic. This is definitely not ironic. Pokimane is that insecure about her status. And it just goes to show you, no matter how much money you have, no matter what you look like, it doesn't make people instantly fly into your life into a successful relationship that you can build off of. But of course, that waits to be seen with her neighbor. Look at those clips, those rage-baiting clips.
I ain't going to front you. I got a point, right? So, damn, how can I say this out loud without getting in trouble? If things are going down for her based off a natural progression of life and maybe even getting older to where she might not appear the same, if her audience was built off of, oh, Pokimane, so hot, she's so pretty, then there would be a natural decline throughout the years of her streaming. If that's the case, I'm not saying, I'm not judging at all. So this could be her going full Karen mode. Going full Karen mode on some, yo, y'all need to pay attention to me. Shower me with gifts. I can't accept the decline. Karen alert. Oh my. It's Karen. She coming. Get your stuff. Get your stuff. Not y'all saying time for her to be a V2, but that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, maybe. You know, she get a little cute little cartoon that like looks nothing how she looks currently. Just know. Why not?
Clips in just a second, but she really asked the question, have we regressed? Well, I don't know. It seems like everything that we're talking about exemplifies regression, but not the way she's trying to speak about it. I mean, the whole question about marriage, and other streamers like her have been confronted with wanting to have a family, and they act like it's the most offensive thing they've ever heard in their lives. Well, that is a narrative being spread by the media, which I think has regressed even further, where a recent article, literally from 2 days ago, describes life as a trap that you can't escape, referring to women who become mothers. Like they're trying to demonize motherhood. That's how low we have fallen, okay? And Pokimane, speaking of regression, has understood for a very long time, since 2020, thanks to the screenshot, that she understands why guys have an easier time relating to guys and girls to girls. And if a community is male-dominated, there's bound to be biases. But she hopes that we can learn to be both fair and empathetic, regardless of this paradigm. So, number one, this shows that she's aware that gaming has always been a male-dominated space. So when you try to plant a flag in a space that you're normally not the most representative of, it's going to come with some sort of tension. But she is aware of this and has been complaining about it and using it to protect herself for many years. But the sort of empathy that she's trying to point towards in this regression, well, it's all over the media. Again, here is a tweet with 122,000 likes. Sabrina Carpenter at Lollapalooza having over 100,000 people call men useless. Pokimane herself saying that basically all the most attractive men are gay, which just really reflects, again, her own sort of agenda, her own discourse that she's always pushing to be the most progressive ever, while also being incredibly not that, ironically enough. But of course, throughout all the time of her gaming career, she has always recognized this idea in her mind that when women mess up, they're attacked in a different sort of a way than when a man messes up and a man is forgiven. Well, it's kind of ironic coming from her because she's part of the problem. I mean, she's one of the people running defense for Hassan Piker. So if you really believe men get away with everything in this industry, well, you let Hassan get away with everything. I mean, she had to last minute push back one of her podcast episodes featuring Hassan during the dog zapping campaign that she clearly...
And I think she fired some employees too because of it, right?
Clearly doesn't care about. She doesn't care about his supporting of terrorist organizations, his threats, his advocacy for political violence. She doesn't care about any of that because, well, she needs him for whatever reason. Clout, friendship, what have you, bottom dollar, any of those things. That's why she ignores it in that context. She is literally part of the problem she has been describing. But the last part that we're going to look at today is rage baiting. And it is so ironic hearing this from her.
I do feel, though, that there's been rage bait for so long that I'm like tired a little bit, like I'm numb. I actually don't get baited as much because everybody knows that there's rage bait. Do you get what I mean? But I also think that that's unhealthy because it leads to a level of like apathy. Like we just don't care. Like we hear bad things and we don't care because we've been rage baited so much that we're just numb.
How's that a bad
like whatever
thing?
I don't even know if that's true or not. DGAF.
As
military has used that to condition the army for so long. Like, what are you talking about? I don't think you not being upset or getting emotional whenever someone tries to rage bait you is a bad thing. I would think that you would want to not have a full meltdown when you get rage baited. But maybe I'm crazy.
As I already stated earlier, Pokimane is the queen of rage bait. This tweet, again, deleted from a few months ago, is the epitome of that, saying, I miss when streaming was about gaming, not just drama baiting.
Hey, what's up, Randall?
And clip farming. Literally, the call is coming from inside the house. In fact, these days, Pokimane's Twitter simply exists to rage bait people. And that is evident with tweets from just last year, where she said, my brother got married, and then just made a thirst trap photo of herself. And you can see people's reaction to this. Like, it is so self-centered. And you have to almost think like this is intentional. There's no way she doesn't have just enough self-awareness to know she's rage baiting people, especially with tweets like this saying, believe all victims. And of course, people back in 2025 were pointing out that, yeah, well, you also are someone who would make fun of Amber Heard. And now she is rewriting the script here, saying she regrets how she streamed the trial and made jokes at the expense of Amber Heard. Like, this is absolutely insane. She loved rage baiting so much that, well, she's tripping over herself. She can't even keep the narrative straight. And also, speaking of rage bait, she has been posting videos with her neighbor, totally not boyfriend, her neighbor, which of course is riling up a lot of people on social media. That's a whole nother thing. And then she made this as her most recent tweet. You know how this goes, right? She posts these silly photos. Everyone's just making fun of her. And that's pretty much how it goes. It's not even surprising whatsoever. But yeah, that is the situation with Pokimane. I hope you didn't rot too many brain cells seeing all this, but that's going to do it for today's video. As always,
that's crazy. Yeah, Pokimane tripping. I think she always doing way too much, but that's just my opinion. Tell me what yours is down in the comment section. Hit the hype button. Also watch more videos and check out my live streams.